So now we have understood what is the meaning of a library and how to add it to your project and how to launch a browser. Okay. Now after launching of the browser, what we require is to interact with the web elements. Now what is a web element? Anything which you see on a page, like when we open any of the page, say Amazon only, then in that case you get some links, you get some text boxes, you get some buttons. Okay, so what we do, we perform some actions like click here, type there, take your mouse to this thing. These type of the actions we perform on a web page. Okay, so where to click, where to type, that we know as a manual when we are working as a human being. So we actually know here I want to click, here I want to type. But programmatically, these actions of click and type and mouse over and you are in a get text etc. has to be performed programmatically. For that we have to tell our program where to type, where to click. For that we have to inspect the element. Okay, so what are the element? All the things which are visible on a web page, whether it is image, whether it is video, whether it is button, whether it is a text box, anything which is visible on a web page on which I can interact, that thing is called web element. Understood? So what is the web element? Anything which is visible on a web page after the launching of the browser on which I can do some actions is called web element. And what we have to do, we have to inspect the element to which I want to connect. To inspect the element, we right click on some element. Like here I want to click on this buy again. So what I do, I right click on this buy again and there is an option coming inspect, or you can connect, and or you can just like click anywhere on a web page, you will get the option inspect, and this option will come on all the browsers, whether it is Chrome browser or Firefox browser or any other XYZ browser. Whenever you right click, you will get this inspect option, and when you click on this inspect option, here you get a HTML code of this page. Here you get one arrow button, and after clicking on this arrow button, when you take mouse to the page, it keeps on selecting the element. Like here every element has a this thing. Like you want to click over here, somewhere like lightning, just you click over here and its code will be highlighted over here. Okay, so now when we talk about this HTML, so, so what is HTML? HTML is a hypertext markup language which is used to design the web page, and it is a document object model. Where when we talk about HTML, HTML is a document object model. Like if you look at this, if you look at it, you see these are the tags. HTML is a tag name. Okay, and now inside HTML there is a body tag. Body. If you see, it is this button is down button. So it means all the things are inside the body. So this is called nested tag, document object model, nested tag. So body is a parent tag inside which all these tags are coming. Here, you see, inside body there is a div tag. Now div is a tag name, tag tag name, and what is this? ID is equal to is an attribute. Class is equal to is an attribute. So when we talk about the HTML, so there are the nested tags, and tags are having some attributes like type is equal to, id is equals to, class is equals to, है ना? These are the attributes. Like here if you see, all the tags are, these are all the tags, and tags are nested to each other here. Parent tag, this is child tag. The pair, the this is a tag which is coming inside this tag. And this is a child tag like this. So all the tags are nested with each other. Okay. And when we, so this is a page designed by the web designer, web developer. So when we inspect the element, we get this type of a information, this type of the information where we get the tag names and we get the attributes, etc. Okay. Now there is one more thing called xpath. What is a xpath? Xpath is a location of web element on a web page. Like take an example, I am taking a class and some students are sitting in front of me. Then I can call some student by name, Ramit, come here. I can call the student by some roll number 21, come here. I can call the student by some shirt color, you check color shirt, come here. I can call the student by and marking, that is from first row to third row, from second to the left position, student you come here. I can make a path, complete path. Or I can call the student by some another reference. The student sitting behind Amit, you come here. The student sitting before roll number 21, you come here. So basically what I am doing, when I am want to interact with some student, I want to call some student, then I am using some reference to call the student. Maybe his name, maybe his ID, maybe his sitting position. Maybe I can locate the person by the reference of some another person's ID or name, or by some color, shirt color, etc. So same thing we are, same thing is the XPath. So XPath is like I told you in this HTML, this is a document object model in which tags are there, and tags are having some attributes. So I can search the element, that search the element which has a class name this. So we can, this is the attribute class. Search the element which has a title name this, or which has a text name home improvement, or which has a ID. Here ID is coming. Search the element which has a ID this. Okay. So it means, okay. So or if the element, I can also element the element in that way. Search the element after ID this. Okay, this element is coming after this, है ना? ID. So if ID is not available, I can use some another ID element also. So XPath is a location of web element on a web page, and in XPath we can use tag name. These are the tag name. Li is a tag name. Tag name. Tag name. We can use the attribute. This ID name is equal to, class is equal to, type is equal to, all these is equal to, wherever you find is equal to is called attribute. So we can locate the element by using some attribute. Here you see below some colors etc. are coming here. Font family, styles, size etc. So we can do color. We can locate the element by some styles. Okay, understood? Okay. So let's make one demonstrative example. We have created one project Morning Selenium. In last class, we have already created this page.java. So we'll be using this page.java only. Okay. And we have created one package test cases, and we have created one class Facebook test. Now this is a code we have already understood in our last session. That is, if you want to automate the Facebook, you have to launch the browser. For that, we have already defined one-time method. So we will extend the page and inherit the open browser which is coming from this page class. Okay. So this is one-time method we have already defined in this page.java open browser. We'll just inherit this page.java and call this method and pass the input to this method and all the action we have already one time defined to launch the browser. So we'll just pass the URL facebook.com. So this will launch the browser and open the facebook.com. This up till now we have done in our last class. Now after opening of the browser, what we want to interact with this text box here. I want to write something manually as a person. When I'm looking from my eyes, so I know where to type what thing, where to click. But programmatically, we have to tell our program that where to type, where to click, where to do something. For that, there is a class called by class, which is predefined class coming from the Selenium library. By. And when I write by dot, you will get some list of the methods. That is, you can use the class name. That is, class is equal to, I told you, we can use id is equal to id is a name given, name is equal to. So whenever there is an element, so shown you, so you get some attributes. These are the common attributes. Class is equals to, name is equals to, id is equals to. Okay, the link text, like what I shown you, home appliances, link text where we are clicking to some link text, partial link text, tag name. Maybe I have shown you lia div. These are the tag names. Tag names we can use. Style we can use css selector, so we can use the some styles to locate the element. Okay, and we can use this xpath also. So it means there are multiple options available. So you can use any one of them to locate the element. You can locate the element by using any one of them, but you can use the id attribute, you can use the link text, you can use the partial link text, you can use the simple name is equal to, or some other things. Okay, so right now I will use one concept called xpath only. This one, xpath, because most of the time we use this xpath to locate the element. Or for the understanding purpose, let us use this id is equal id by id. Now double quotes. Now if you look at this email, I have to inspect the element. Right click anywhere on your web page and inspect. You will get the HTML code. Then click on this arrow button, go to the text box, click over here, and the code will be highlighted. From there, you see, I get these things. Name is equal to email, or ID is equals to email. class is equals to, these are the called attributes. So I want to use name, so I will just double click on this name and copy it. Name is equal to email, and I will write it over here like this. So it means, sorry, I am using id, no problem, id is also same here. Id is equals to email. Okay, id is equals to email. So I'm using by id email. So it will search on this page, complete page it will search. Okay, it will search on the complete page. Wherever the id it will find, it will return. What is the id return type? Again by object. It will return the object of by only. By. Now when we have inherited page, again I have created this global variable driver, global variable which is public. Public means anyone can access it. So when we discussed our core Java, so I have shown you, I have created this public variable, protected variable, static variable, etc. And I have shown you that in child class we can inherit the method as well as we can inherit the variables also. So when we are inheriting the page, then this driver is also inherited, web driver. So I can use this driver object over here, driver. So this is again coming from page dot find element. So there is a method called find element to find the element on this page, and find element takes the input of by. Okay, so I will use by. So again, if you look, take the mouse over, find element is taking the input of by input to the method, and find element is returning web element. So it returns the reference of the web element, that is reference of this text box where id is email. The return type is web element. Say, you can write anything, uh, uid text box is equals to, like this. So it will return the reference of this uid text box, and we will store it in web element object. So web element is a interface coming from Selenium library which we have to import. And now after we have find this element by this id where id is equal to email, then we can click or type or do anything on this element. So again I will write uid text box, sorry, tx box dot. You will get multiple methods, like you want to click on it or you want to do other actions on it, है ना? So you will get the list of the method. From there is a one method called send keys which is used to type, say abc @gmail.com. So send keys is used to, this is a method for typing. So we have launched the browser and inspected the element by the ID email, and then find that element by that ID email, and when the web element is inspected, then we are typing on that particular element. So let us run and check. browser is launched, it is maximized. So we have also shown you how to maximize the browser, and then it has inspected the element and it has typed abc@gmail.com in a text box. Understood? Now again it is long way, one line, two line, three lines. So I can make it in a shorter way also. Now, what is the short way? We will be using the short way only. All these things I try to explain you so that you understand. Instead of just learning the code, we should also understand it. So if I write driver again dot find element, so it is taking by as an input. So instead of writing b over here, what I can do, I can directly write this method which will return the by object inside the method. That is shortcut rule number 2 we have discussed in our core Java. That is if method is returning, same thing. So we can inside the bracket we can write directly this thing. So instead of writing b, we can in the brackets we can write by.id, and this internal code will execute first, which will return by object, which this find method will use. So one and the same thing, instead of writing b, we have written this code. Then this method is returning web element. So if I write dot after it, it will return the, it will get the methods of web element, and from there I can directly write send keys in that. So same thing we are performing in that. Understood? Okay. Now here, as I told you, by has multiple options available. Similarly, instead of ID, you can use name, by name, like this. So again, it will give you the same result, because name is also, I told you, name is equal to email. So instead of ID, I can use name also. Name, email. If you want to close the browser automatically, then also you can use, in page we have written one more method, close browser, and the method is driver.quit, which will close the browser automatically. See, after typing of the name, just for the demonstration, I want to close browser. So close browser again is the inherited method. Open browser, close browser. So it will close the browser. But it will close the browser immediately. After typing, it will close the browser immediately. So if you want to wait for few seconds before closing, then in between you can write thread.sleep is a Java method, Java class. Thread is a class coming from Java, and sleep is a method which stops the execution of the program for 6000 millisecond. 6000 is the time, and it takes the time in millisecond, ms, millisecond time. So thread.sleep will stop the execution of the program so that close browser is not immediately called. It will stop the program for 6000 milliseconds. And whenever we write sleep, then it is giving me the option to throw the exception. So I have to the exception ending. So it is compulsory to throw the exception. Launch the browser, then it has typed on that particular thing. It is waiting for 6000 and automatically closing it. Now, generally, most of the time, we use xpath, Like, and I told you, it's not compulsory. Like I told you, by dot we get many options, that we can locate the element by class name, we can locate the element by id, we can locate the element by name, we can locate the element by an link text, or we can locate the element by css. So one of the option of one coming is xpath also. Let's start. So most of the time we use xpath to locate the element. So if I again write by dot, I remove it, and again I write by dot. So here I'm getting the options available by dot. All the options are coming. XPath is also coming if you see over here. By XPath. So if I use this by XPath and within double quotes, I have to write the XPath over. So again, what is the XPath? XPath automatically, like here, so I am seeing here when I'm inspecting the element, then I have to see by myself what is the name, what is the ID, etc. If you again see, if I open the Facebook and I was inspecting the element, so I have to search over here by it. He, what is the class, what is the name, what is the ID, etc. It will take some time for me to search. है ना? Maybe some elements are there, like here in div, there is no ID given, there is no name given, and class we will not use generally, because class will give you the multiple elements. Like if you say, if I say Amit come here, so there can be two or three Amit in a class. There can be confusion which Amit I am calling. If I'm talking about the class come tomorrow in white dress. So class means plural, multiple things. Now when they have used these elements, class is equal to name is equal to ID is equal to type is equal to, why they have used these elements? They have not used these elements for the web test, for the testing. They have used these elements for the web designing. Say for example, है ना, say for the person who has designed this web page has not written this code for that software test engineer. He has written this code for the web designing. Like take an example, here in this page I want this color as green and I want this color as blue. So how he will do it? So he will again locate this element by some ID, that this button ID blue color, this button ID green color. So here it means they are using the ID attribute to design the page. Now, for example, here I want Times New Roman login is a text, and I want the font as Times New Roman. And here also create new account. Here also I want the same style, Times New Roman. So what I do, I will make a one class. One class means that group. I will group this button in one class. That is, instead of applying two different styles, I want the common style in both of them. So I will give the this name and this name in Sangesh. So I will give the name as class button, class button. So this is a class button, this is a class button. And I will say on class button, I want Times New Roman. So it means wherever there is a button in my page, I will get the style instead of, so ID is used to differentiate and class is used for the collection. So we so so if we use class attribute to search the element, so I can get multiple classes over here. Not a single class. I can get multiple classes, multiple elements I can get. But I want to interact with only one element. Okay, understood? So there, the use of, so here if I want to inspect this particular element div, so there is no ID, there is no name. I do not want to use class. Then how to do it? Then what I can do? I can use the XPath. So what is the XPath? Just when you inspect the element and the code is highlighted, when you click on this dot 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 button here, there is a dot 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 button. I'll get this copy, and in copy you get this option copy XPath and copy full XPath. So just select this element, it is highlighted. Just click on this dot dot dot, copy xpath here, and copy xpath, and then just in the double quotes paste it. It will automatically take id as an attribute to locate the web element. Instead of writing id is equal to email by myself, I've just copied it and taken it. Okay. Now every time whenever we write xpath, it always starts from double slash. Xpath always starts from double slash. Then there is always one star symbol, and within square brackets here, it is using at the rate attribute name. What is this id? Id is a attribute name and is equal to value. If the element does not, one more thing you have to understand, sometime element id is not available here. If you look at this element here, id is equal to is not given. If id is not available, then it will take the id of some another element and make the path. Say again, if I copy the xpath for this element here, and here id is equal to is not given, here id is equal to is given, here id is equal to is not given, and I copied it, and say if I paste it over here, only for the understanding, what is you see, it is making a path up to this element by using the id of some another attribute. So if you see here, id is not given, but what is the parent? The parent is this one. This one is the parent. Again, id is not available. Again, it will go upwards here. This is the parent, which is the tag which is has a bottom down button is a parent. So if you see here, here id is given here. This one id is given. U underscore 0 underscore 2 underscore by id is given. So it will use this id and make the path. Inside form there is div, then inside div there is one more div, and then this div. So in that way it will make the path. So if you see, it is using this id and then slash div and then again slash div. So in that way it will create the path by itself. So it means, what is the xpath? Xpath is a location of web element on a web page, and generally when we copy the xpath, it uses the id of the element to locate the xpath. And if the element id is not available, then it will use the parent id and make the path from the parent id to the element. Okay, this is called relative xpath. Relative xpath uses attribute to locate element. Okay, so we have written this thing. Again, what I will write, now I will be using the shortcut only, driver dot, you will get the list of the method, find element, single element I want to find, not find elements, find element, and inside by, then write dot, choose the option. Generally we'll use xpath, so I'll use xpath only, xpath. Then first write double quotes, and after writing double quotes, then go back to your website and again click on this arrow button. Now you want to type the password, click on the text box, the code will be highlighted. Just click on this dot dot dot, copy xpath, and within double quotes paste it. Okay, understood? Sometime people do that, they copy the path first like this, and after that they write the double quotes. then it will not work here. It will not work. Okay. You have to write double quotes first, and then within double quotes you have to paste it. Then only it will work like this. Again, in password, what I want to do, dot send keys. Say password is xxx. There is no logic, as I told you in my first class, that you are learning the Java. Only the OOPS concept you have to learn so that you can understand simple concepts of the Java. What is variable, what is class, what is constructor, what is extends, what is interface, etc. But as such, when we are writing our core Java program, there was some logic. That is even odd. I was checking whether it is even or odd. So I was adding some code, some logic. But here, when we are doing the testing, there is no logic as such. Whatever you're doing in a manual is step by step. Same thing you have to write in your program. Like whatever is like manually, I'm launching the browser, then I'm clicking and writing over here, I'm writing over, then I'm clicking over here. Just same process you have to follow. Nothing else. Again, I want to click on this login button. So I'll just click on this login button, inspect element, the code is highlighted, and again I will dot copy xpath. But here, now another one more point. You see, ID is available, but this ID is little bit different. Some numbers are coming with it. 5A, U underscore 0 underscore 5A. When this type of the ID is coming, then that ID is a dynamic ID. Dynamic ID means which is changing, which is not fixed. So let us use it and then you will come to know what is dynamic ID. So now I have created, I have added the username, I have added my password, and now I want to do login button. I want to click on this login button. Again, driver dot find element by dot same xpath within double quotes, then paste, and then dot click. But here if you see ID is proper email, here ID is proper pass, but here ID is little bit different. Like here, some numbers are coming. U underscore 0 underscore 5 underscore empty. Here, this one. U underscore 0 underscore 5 underscore empty. Yeah, this ID it is taking. So let us try to run it and check whether it is working or not. Okay. Now username it has typed, password it has typed, but login button it has not clicked on this login button. If you see, error is coming over here below. And what is the error coming? No such element. Unable to locate the element. It is not able to locate the element. Which element? This element it is not able to locate. If I reinspect this element, so you see the ID is changed. U underscore 0 underscore 5 underscore UD instead of empty. It has changed. I was using empty. And now this ID is changed to UD. Understood? So it means this is a dynamic ID. Whenever I copy now again XPath, again it will use this ID, but when I run it, it will change it. Okay. So in that case, now I'm not able to find the element by XPath, copy the XPath. So again, there is one more thing called copy complete XPath. Here, if you see, there is one more option, copy full XPath. Here, if I use this copy full XPath now and use it, So now this is not working. So I have copied full XPath. I will remove this and use this one. So what it will do? It will make a complete path from beginning till end. So I told you HTML is a nested and it starts from HTML. Then there is a body, then div. So what it has done? It has created the complete path from beginning till end. And you have to make this double slash. Double slash. So this is called absolute XPath. Absolute XPath. So there are two kinds of XPath, relative XPath, absolute XPath. Relative XPath uses the attribute to locate the element. And absolute XPath does not use any attribute. It makes the complete path from beginning till end. Understood? Okay. But it is, hello, but it is not preferred because it's lengthy and slow. Okay. But it will work. Where we are not able to locate the ID dynamically, then what we can do? We can, okay. Okay, you are able to view it now. Okay. So it is lengthy and slow here. So it is very lengthy path. It takes from beginning till end, and it is slow because when the element is locating, it will locate it in from the this path. So it is slow. So hence it is not preferred, but it will work because here I'm not able to take the X path because it is dynamic. ID is dynamic. So let us again try to work. You see, now it has clicked on my login button. Previously it was not clicking. Now it is clicking and no error message coming. But I told you now this is very important thing to understand that we can use this complete XPath, but it is not preferred. Now what to do? Because it is lengthy and slow. So another thing what we can do is we can create our own XPath. Instead of copy XPath, we can create our own XPath. Because when we copy the XPath, it will always use the ID attribute to locate the element. But whenever we copy the XPath, it will always use the ID attribute to locate the element here. But IDs are dynamic and I do not want to take the full XPath. Then what is the option left? The option left is that create your own XPath. Now how to create your own XPath? Again, driver dot find element by dot XPath double quotes and click. But I do not want to copy the XPath. I want to create my own XPath. So as I told you, XPath always starts from double slash. So I will write double slash. And there is a star symbol. So I will write a star. Then there is a square brackets. I will write a square brackets. And inside a square bracket, at the rate attribute name. So again I will write at the rate. But I do not want to use ID. So here I will go and I will check for some another attribute like value is equal to, class is equals to, name is equals to, type is equals to. So I will use say this type. type type. So instead of id, I will write type 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 is equals to, and within single quotes, what? Value. Here the value is submit, submit, submit. So when we copy the xpath, it always uses the id attribute, but it's not compulsory that we use the id attribute. We can use any attribute like name, like href, src, type, title. Many attributes are coming, so we can use any of the attribute over here with the value to locate the element. But for that, you have to create by your own, like you have to type it by your own. It If I copy and paste, then it will use only id. It will not take type or any other attribute. It will only use the id attribute. Okay, so in that way we can create our own xpath. Again, if I, because this is not preferred, this is working, but this is lengthy, so hence we can create our own xpath like this. Okay, so if I run it again, if there is any doubt, you can call me on my number, because I think your voice is not coming to me. Okay, so it is working. Login, it is working. Okay, so I think you have understood that after the launching of a web page, now we have to interact, we have to do some actions on a web page. For that, we have to find the element, and to find the element we use this by class, and in by class we generally use this xpath. So xpath is the location of the web element on a web page, which we can right click, inspect, and then we get the option copy xpath, and we can copy the xpath and use it in our program. Generally it will work, but if it is not working, like here we have used in id was not working, then either we can use the absolute xpath, complete xpath, or we can create our own xpath. Okay, now I will create one more example. Say again, I will go to the test cases, right click, new class, say poll test, main method, finish. That is a standard thing. Extends page, same thing. Then create your user defined method and call the inherited method. Any browser which you want to launch, you can write over here. It's not compulsory that you write Chrome only. If you want to use Firefox, you can write Firefox. If you want to use Edge, you can write Edge, as per your choice, and the website which you want to automate. So now here I want to automate one more website, say Times of India. And in Times of India, I want to go to this link, timesofindia.com/poll.cms. So I will copy the link from here, paste it over here. So it will launch the browser and open this link. And after that, what I want to say, click on this agree or disagree button here. So for that, again I will inspect the element. Okay, say I say Sehwag says World Cup organizers should give free tickets to the school and college students. So say I want to click on this agree button. So I'll just right click, inspect, the code will be highlighted. Now again if I copy xpath and then come, just write driver dot find element by dot xpath double quotes paste and then dot click. Just okay. What done? Open the browser, copy the xpath. It has taken this xpath. Dot click will click. So just run this much. Okay. Open browser okay, chrom. So we have forgot to write r. chrom. Okay. So it has clicked on this agree button. Now one problem is there. The problem is that every time when I run this test, it will click on the agree button. Maybe some another day question is changing. This question will not be fixed. Someday some another question is coming. Someday some another question is coming for the polling. But it will always click on this agree button. So what I want to read this question first. So again, if I right click, inspect, that is before clicking on any button, I want to read this question and I inspect this element. The code is highlighted. If you look at it, no ID is given, style is given, class is given, width is given. No other thing is given. But when I again copy xpath, what it will do? It will use the ID of this poll form. If you see, what is the parent, parent, and it will locate this poll form ID and it will make the path from here till here. So I just copy the xpath. Then again I will go back and I will say after opening the browser, what I want to do, I want to read the question first. Then only I will right click, agree or disagree. Driver dot find element by dot xpath double quotes, within double quotes paste. So it will take the ID of poll form and make the path up to the element. Okay. And now we do not want to click on it. I don't want to type on it. What I want to get text to read. So dot get text. So again, get text is a method to read the text from the web page. And get text returns a string. So I will store it in one string. And then I can print this. So it will get the data from the website and store it in this m variable and I can just print it. Now, after reading this question, I want user to click on this agree button or disagree button. So again, I will use the scanner class over here. You see, scanner, which we have done in our core Java. Scanner sc is equals to new scanner system.in. Now for scanner, we will be importing the util library, and then again I can write agree or disagree, and then string input is equals to sc dot next. The user will enter agree or disagree. So I will take the input from user in that, and then I will compare if input dot equals agree. Then we have to click on agree button. Okay. Otherwise equals, or you can also write equals ignore case. Okay, but so that if there is a capital or small, it will ignore. Else we have to click on disagree button. So again, if you see, I go to this arrow button, click on this disagree button. The code will be highlighted here. Dot 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 copy xpath. Again, it will take the ID and make the path from ID to this location. Like this. So now we are reading this question, taking the input agree or disagree from the user, and if agree, then click on this, otherwise click on this. So if you see, it is taking the path and up to input number 1 or input number 2, agree disagree. If I again run it, now it will not work until unless I give the input. If you have to go back to your program, and here if you see, this is my console. It is reading the question, and after reading the question, say I want disagree. I am taking the input from the user, enter, and now it will click on this disagree. Okay. Now one more thing, only for the understanding. Say I do not want to use copy xpath here, because again copy xpath is making it very lengthy, because this element does not have a ID. So it is using the ID of some another element and making the path up to here. So I do not want to use this approach. and I want to create my own XPath. That is only optional basically, not compulsory. So if you want to make your own XPath again, so that you understand what is the meaning of creating your own XPath, that's why I'm telling you. If I delete it, so again I say I will write double slash star square brackets. Now coming back to this, again if I go and I click on this agree inspect element, click on this agree button. So here I get some attributes like class is equals to radio 1. If you look at the below, here also class is radio 1. Type is equal to radio. Here also type is equal to radio. Name is equal to P R radio. Same P radio. So if I use this type, I will get two buttons. If I use this name again, I will get two buttons. But one thing is different, that is value is equal to 1, value is equal to 2. So what I will do, let us use this type again. Type is equal to radio. So I will use over here at the rate type is equals to single quotes radio and and one more thing, value is equals to 2. Value is also attribute. At the rate value is equal to 2. At the rate value is equals to. So now we are using this element two attributes. So find the element which has a type is equal to radio and value is equal to 2. Click on it. Similarly over here, instead of creating this copy XPath, it will also work. Only optional thing, I can create my own XPath. Again double slash star square brackets same at the rate type is equals to single quotes radio and at the rate value is equals to single quotes 1. Click on the element which has a type is equal to radio and value is equals to 1. Let us run it again. It will not click until so you have to go back to your program and say click agree, enter, and then it will click on the button. Okay, now 5 minutes 10 minutes session more. So now we have taken the question, we have clicked on agree disagree. Now what I have to do, I have to write some question answer over here. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. Now this question is not fixed again, it will keep on changing here. Some 7 plus 0 is coming, sometimes 0 plus 3 is coming, sometimes 6 plus 3 is coming. So this question will keep on changing. So first of all, I have to read this question. What is the question? So again, I will inspect the element. Click on this arrow. Now, when I inspect the element, this is one thing. 6 plus 3 is equal to is 1. I did that is I'm not able to take 6 separately and 3 separately. It is only one element. So if you see over here, this is 6 plus 3 and ID is also given. ID is equal to. So whatever the question is coming, it is coming at this location only. 4 plus 2. So I will dot 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 again copy XPath, and then after that I will again read this string question is equals to driver dot find element by dot XPath double quotes, paste, dot, get text. That is, I want to read the question. Get text. Okay. Get text. So it will read the question from the website. Now this question is also not fixed. This question will be changing. Sometimes 3 plus 2 is coming. Sometimes 5 plus 3 is coming. So this question is changing. Now what I want to do, whatever the question is, maybe it is 5 plus 7 or 3 plus 2 or whatever it is, I want to break this first digit and second digit. That is, I want to break two numbers, 4 and 2. So for that, again, we have discussed core Java concept, string tokenizer. This is coming as a string. So what we have discussed in a string tokenizer? That is, we can break the string by using some identifiers. That is, we can string this, break this 4 and 2 by using this identifier plus. Where there is a plus, I want to break this 4 and 2. Plus is equal to. So I will write. That is, we want to break the string. So I want to write string tokenizer str is equals to new. All the things which I have told you in core Java, only those things we will be using. We have done this string tokenizer in our string chapter. String tokenizer class to break the string by using the comma. Remember, that is Samsung $50. And then I want to break the product name and price separately. So I've used this string tokenizer example. The string tokenizer is a class coming from util package which is used to break this q string from this identifier plus and is equal to. Then I will get number 1 is equals to string tokenizer method is next token. Next token will break the first string and then trim will remove the space and integer dot parseInt will convert to the number. So I'll get the first digit, whatever it is, maybe it is 6 or maybe it is 7, maybe it is 0, whatever it is, and then again second digit, maybe it is any number. So I will get two numbers and I will add them and then you can print it. But what we want to do, we want to write whatever this question is coming. We have broken this 4 and 2 separately and added it, and we have to add and write over here. So again, I will inspect the element of this text box. Again, copy xpath, come back, double quotes, paste, and to type send keys. Now send keys always take the string type of the data. If I write number type of data int, it will give me the error. Sum will give me the error. So I have to convert int to string. For that, integer is a wrapper class and toString is the method which will convert this integer to string. And then I can write sum2 like this. So it will type, and last option left is, that is, you have to click on this vote button. Again, if I click on this vote, you see ID is not given. So I can use some another attribute like pg is equal to vote. So I can create my xpath. Driver dot, again find element by dot xpath double quotes dot click in that way. And I can create my xpath double slash star square bracket at the rate, and then I can use this attribute pg pg is equals to single quotes value vote vote, or you can copy from here because it is case sensitive. So maybe vote, and it will vote. Let us run and check. Okay, so again I will say come back and click on this agree, enter. So you see question is coming 9 plus 2. I entered the value 11 and the voting has been done successfully. Now if you want to check whether voting has been done or not, and you again want to inspect this element, so now this text is coming here B, no ID, nothing. And if I copy the XPath, it will take the complete XPath from HTML till end. So I can use one more thing, that is I can inspect the element by the text. So if I copy this text, Control C, and again come back after vote, say driver dot find element by dot XPath. Now do not here, and again dot get text. Create your XPath double slash star square bracket, but there is no attribute over here. B, no attribute is coming. So I can use one more way, that is instead of using attribute, I can write text function. So with that, I will not use at the rate. I will just write text text function. It is function is equals to single quotes and the text. So you can also find the element by this text. So you can use this text is equal to text, and it will get this text message. And then you can check if m2 is not equal to null, it means message is coming, then pass. It with voting functionality you are checking that voting functionality is working in a proper way, you can pass. Or if this message is not coming, it means voting is not done, and then you will say it is filling. So again if I run it last time, okay, again I will take the input from here, say disagree, and it now the question is changing. 7 plus 2 is equal to answer 7, and then pass. Here voting has been completed. So we'll keep up to here. Hopefully you have understood today's session.